Going show with some breaking news. Mr. SN Subrahmanyan has been appointed as the CEO and Managing Director of L&T Toubro, and Mr. AM Naik has been appointed as the non-executive chairman for 3 years starting October 1. And Mr. Subrahmanyan, of course, takes over from July 1. Mr. Subrahmanyan is joining us on the phone line. Mr. Subrahmanyan, good evening and congratulations. This news was largely awaited. Your first thoughts?
First thought, yes, it's an onerous responsibility. As you're aware, L&T is a very complex, diverse projects manufacturing services company. Okay. Stepping into the shoes of Mr. Naik, who's a giant person who's had has had a great run, who's founded many of our businesses, who's created the employee trust, and who has taken many measures to take this company to where it is today. It's not an easy, step and process to fill in. Mm-hmm. I'm happy that the board of directors and the chairman have placed the trust and have asked me to take this forward. It is with the sense of responsibility that one would look into that, and I hope that we are able to take this company forward to the way it is and to the growth path and make Mr. Naik proud of the decision. Of
course. I mean, I have no doubt you've been in the company for long enough. But Mr. Subrahmanyan, are there any other administrative changes? Because you take over from July 1st. And if I read your report right, Mr. Naik takes on as a non-executive chairman with effect from October 1st, 2017. Is there any other change until then? How are the responsibilities?
No, I think we will continue as what it is. It's, in my view, looking into what's happening, Mr. Naik has carefully thought this through. 12 years back, he spotted me. Last 2.5 to 3 years, you've been announcing about this.
Yes.
He's created a situation where things have been made to be smooth.
So no other administrative changes?
No, I don't think there is any other changes. These are the only two decisions of the board, and rest of the matters remain the same.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to ask you, as you prepare to take over, though of course you do have about 3 months now to prepare for the new position, what do you see as continuity and change?
It is continuity and change, and that's what the chairman and the board have sought to take forward. So Mr. Naik is available for us towards guidance, towards any other major decisions that we need to take. Many of the things that one needs to take as a big engineering manufacturing company has already been put into place. We have some good things going. We have some tough propositions in front of us, and to his full credit, he has already involved me in many of those matters. So one has to see how to take it forward. So, and in a situation where many things have been put into place, one has to bring stability. One has to bring the situation that things are as normal as is continuing, and the company is in good hands, and we'll continue to take it forward as such.
Okay. Well, since we have you with us and you are the executive head even now, what are you seeing as changes in the Indian in the Indian economy itself? We have seen capital goods getting a thumbs up from the stock markets. They are sensing some capex. What can you tell us about the turning capex environment?
We just gone through a budget for the year 17-18. Just got through the board, and we have been positive about the emerging economic scenario. We feel 2018 will be a good growth year. There will be spend. There will be projects which have not been moving, which will be pushed. We see infrastructure spend push. We feel this year the Make in India program coming to fruition. We'll see some results on the defense side. The IT side is also stabilizing. So overall, we see positive trends in much of the activities that we are in. So one looks forward to take this year forward in a more positive manner, and we look forward to good things during the year.
You all had announced some time back a plan of doubling revenues. Is there any timetable, anything that you're coming with?
Not immediately. That's Mr. Naik's target as we look forward, and it's good to have a target in mind. But we'll have to sit down, carefully calibrate. We have a strategic plan which is already approved by a board, and which is what we normally follow as a path from target point of view.
Okay.
But beyond the target, the chairman has a wish to see where we can super grow the target, and one is always good to have that in front of you to look at as an extra thing to achieve.
Okay.
And one always works with targets, and it's good to have that. And if we can achieve that, that's much greater for the company as well as for the shareholders.
How was the ordering environment domestically? We were talking about capex trends. Is the ordering environment any better?
I do not want to speculate right now because the year end has just come to an end.
Fair enough.
In a short while, we will have a result and you will see how it has come out. We are fairly optimistic, and let's see how things pan out as we go forward.
What will be L&T's key focus area under your charge?
Nothing changes. It's stability. It's growth.
No. I mean, in terms of sectors, sir. Will defence be the overarching theme? Will it be construction as it now is? Any reordering of focus areas?
The three of our business which has given us good cash flow and profitability and growth over the last few years has been the infrastructure side, has been our IT growth, as well as been our reality growth. And as we go forward, we do expect some of the new growth areas, which would be defense, which would be the water business that we are in, which would be the smart world communication and digital business that we are in. And we find growth from these areas will take us forward in a more aggressive manner as we look into the future.
Okay, a final question, sir. As you take charge of the ship, are you sensing that you are getting on to a full tide from ebb tide that was prevailing over the last 3 or 4 years?
We have, as you have noticed in all my press meets, I use the word cautiously optimistic to moving on to optimistic. So we continue to remain positive and optimistic. Okay. Being on the infrastructure side, being on the capital goods side, being on the defense side, we know the decision making is laborious. We are to a large extent, many of our projects depending on government spend, both in India and Middle East. The oil prices did have some effect earlier, but now it seems to be stabilizing somewhere between 55 and 60. Indian economy also seems to be stabilizing. The demonet has had a little effect, but it's a positive step all the way. So overall, we feel good, and let's see how it goes. Okay, from cautiously optimistic to optimistic, that's the journey you see. Mr. Subrahmanyan, pleasure speaking with you, and here's wishing you all the best in your new leadership position. Thank you very much, and you're all bit of it. Thank you. All right, so that's the new man who will be at the helm. He has been at the helm of L&T already and will take over as the executive head, the CEO and managing director from July 1st. That's Mr. SN Subrahmanyan. We'll take